Ladies and gentlemen, the Adult Baby Show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Adult Babies Podcast, episode 117. I am B.
And I'm Chick.
And I'm Chris.
How's everybody doing?
Back at it again, boys.
Well, I am delighted to do this episode. I've been looking forward to it for one reason, because we had, now I'm not going to go out and say it was the best because I love anybody who reviews us, but it was my favorite review that we've gotten so far from James DeLuca.
Yeah.
I don't really know if I know him. I may not. I don't.
Look at him. He's so big time. He's so big time.
But he wrote a really great review. And like, if we were going to summarize our show, this is what I would write. It would says, it's a fun, silly, and occasionally thought-provoking podcast with three Long Island guys expressing opinions on a wide range of topics, most of which they have little to no life experience with. But
And
for
that's
whatever
the key
reason,
sentence. That's the key sentence in there.
it is. And it says, but for whatever reason, it's entertaining. And that's exactly how, I don't know why, but it is. We're entertaining. And I think that it was a very nice words from Mr. DeLuca there. And we appreciate it. And I just wanted to read that out there.
Yeah, that is a great comment. And Chick, you are on top of these comments. Like, do you check it every 5 minutes? Because
No, I go on there and check it at least weekly.
Oh, see, I don't
do that either.
I have no idea what the comments are until I get a text by you. Like, and I'm like, how do you even follow this? Like, do you get I was like, does this guy get alerts every time we get a?
No, what I do is I go on our page and you can see the reviews, and I usually check it every week.
I believe you do that because your life is so full of negative comments that you're on the iTunes page looking for some positive feedback about your life.
Something good about me?
Yeah.
No, I just, listen, man, this is something we do, and we ask people to review us. It would be kind of dumb of us to ask someone to review us and then not look.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're right.
And it also, so then when they do review us, I get to shout them out, and maybe other people will start to review us too.
Yes, I agree.
There's a method to my madness.
There is.
I don't
some
ever
would say
want to be
there
that
isn't.
person who fans or listeners reach out and we are like too cool or too big to respond.
I
Like,
agree
I would
with you.
never want to be that guy.
No. But I think that is that message, that review right there is something for people. If you're going to review, aim for something like that.
That's the template.
Yeah, that is a template.
Well said, B.
Throw a jab in there if you can.
Can you do and I would like to challenge the listeners to do better than that, because I don't think they have that ability.
I don't know if
I agree. I think James DeLuca is a special person.
Yeah.
And not many people are as good with words as he.
Yeah, we should get him on the podcast just to interview him about what went into that.
Now, when you were writing this review,
what were you thinking?
what made you add this line?
I'm more shocked that it's somebody none of us. I mean, I feel bad if it's somebody I know and I'm not recognizing the name.
On that name, yeah.
But if it's somebody we don't know who listens to us, I'm even more flattered.
Yeah.
Oh, that is really cool.
But listen, this is why I always ask people to review us, because I do read them. They do cheer us up, and yeah, that was how I wanted to start off today's show. But I know you guys got some things you want to talk about.
Yeah, Chris, what did you had something?
I've had a pretty eventful night. We're recording a little late tonight.
We are.
It's 10 something. And for the past 3 hours, I have been driving around in circles looking for my neighbor's dog.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Dog?
So I kind of wanted to bring this up because I've had a dog for he's probably 2.5 years now, and we've never lost him.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine like the gut-wrenching feeling that must be to lose your dog.
It's gotta be brutal.
And then, They
I
don't
always
even know exactly when he got out. It's probably between like I guess like say there's like a 3-hour window that he could have gotten out that nobody remembers seeing him. So it's like he could be anywhere by now.
I mean, yeah, but I always like to think that dogs, I mean, they're not roaming the whole countryside. I feel like they're probably looking for their way back home.
Or
That's
they're
what
just
I'm hoping.
you would hope, but also, have you seen dogs just sort of take off and have utter disregard for everything around them?
It
Like
just
they're just
seems
like,
like
oh,
they-
this is a new place for me to run away.
That is also
they're
true.
just like going this way.
You know what I also,
and then they
I don't wanna
realize
be
like,
like-
oh my God, I'm not at home. Where am I?
Yeah.
I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I also have no faith in society where I feel like some people who are looking for a dog, it's like, oh,
Dude.
I just found a dog, as
Okay.
opposed to let me see who this dog belongs to.
That's a little bit what I was alluding to. So like after 3 hours of looking, this is like a smaller dog, like a kind of.
Can you
expected-
describe what
something
this
like my
looks
dog?
like?
Yeah, it's like something like your dog, something like my dog is the same type of dog. Like I was starting to think like, dude, somebody might have taken this dog.
How? I mean, what? Can you describe what kind of dog it is?
And the
It
area,
is
so
a-
people can look. We are a local podcast.
It is a 15 to 20-ish pound white Havanese.
A
A white Havanese?
Havanese.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus
they
Christ.
almost look like Shih Tzus a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. And
don't know what a
oh my
Havanese is.
God, I feel so. You know why I also don't think this dog is far? Because these dogs aren't roamers, man. I have one, and I don't know. Well, I have a very similar dog.
Well,
And I
I
feel
have
like-
a Havanese also, and they're not roamers. They're just I
They're
think that
s-
this dog
Thing's
is
probably scared
bush somewhere.
shitless.
Yeah.
This
He
dog
probably
is hiding in a
he or
bush,
she.
horrified.
Do you know the name of the
Scuttle.
dog? Huh?
Scuttle.
Scuttle?
Yeah,
That's a good name.
That is a good
Scuttlebutt.
name. I like that name.
Scuttle. It's a great name.
So yeah, guys,
it's bad
keep an eye
because
out for
It is
Scuttle.
an older dog.
Chris,
I don't know how
when you
old-
said you had something, I thought it was going to be some good news. You just ruined my mood.
Yeah, but you know what? It's a valid thing. You got to bring that up.
It's
Oh,
something
you got to bring it up. You got to
also,
find.
like
You get out there and
that
find
dog-
that fucking dog.
you guys have had dogs for much longer. Have you guys ever had your dog get out?
I've had close calls, but never for more than 15 minutes.
Okay.
So I've had a couple. I've had dogs my whole life. We had one dog that got away, and we used to. My family used to have a cabana. You know what a cabana? It's like a little beach.
Oh yeah.
Kinda-
Yeah, let's all explain how wealthy B is.
Well, it's not wealthy. It's basically it's a
I'm
changing.
joking. I'm joking.
And it was my aunt's. So down in like Long Beach, we would for when we were growing up, we would spend the day on these at the beach. So back then we would leave the dog outside. We were gone all day, and the dog got out. And one night we found out we come back and he's just sitting on the front porch, like he made his way out. Another time a dog got out. He ran away and somebody he was probably missing for 15, 20 minutes. And somebody pulls up in the car and said they had our dog because it had our name on it. And they told us they were driving a few blocks away. They saw a dog running and they just opened the door and the dog ran into the door, into the car. Yeah, like he just didn't care. He's like, all right, these are my new owners now.
Well, you know what? Some of these dogs are so scared, probably. They're just
They
like,
don't know. What
car. I love the car.
One
try
of the
this
other
one.
things. Did I ever tell you about the time my dog almost drowned?
No.
Jesus,
my account?
B.
So years ago, you know how ESPN plays back to back ESPN?
Yeah, same episode over and over in
Yeah.
the morning.
So me and my buddy were hanging out. It's like a summer day, and we're hanging out, so bored. Whatever. We probably watched 3 episodes of ESPN back to back. 3 hours of just sitting on the couch watching sports.
Yeah,
And
we got it.
my parents are out on somewhere else. They come home. They were gone all day, and they're like, "Where's Molly?" Molly was, I don't know. I haven't seen her in a little while. And they go out. We go out to the pool, and Molly is hanging on to. She's in the deep end of the pool, and she's hanging on to the ladder by a paw. on death's door. She's on death. She must have been in for hours.
And you're sitting on the couch watching ESPN.
I'm watching ESPN for.
I haven't seen her.
I haven't seen.
I
her.
haven't
Dude.
seen her, Mom.
Dude, my dad dove into the pool and got her. She was barely. They picked her up, and she was like a fluffy white dog. She looked like a wet seal, you know. And my dad took her out of the pool, and she just collapsed for about 2 hours. We thought she was fine, and she
Probably exhausted from trying not to drown.
yeah.
She was kicking probably for
Kicking
freaking God
for
knows
hours.
how long.
Dude, I'm telling you, her little paw was just attached to a step in the deep end. It was brutal.
I mean, I love dogs,
That's
and
brutal.
I'm glad she's okay. But Jesus, B, I just like if my dog was missing. She's so small. I feel like she would just be petrified.
Yeah.
That's
We
what
can
gets
have it.
me. That's what freaks me out the most. Is that, like them just being out there all alone.
I mean, I wouldn't be able to go. Can you imagine going to sleep at night knowing your dog is out in the wild?
Just out around, especially being so small. Like you're not defending shit.
Exactly.
Like you're just
Ugh.
one possum.
One possum.
Yeah.
You know.
That's what I'm saying. Little dogs, I feel bad for when they're out like that.
I don't even walk my dog when it's dark out. Really,
Why?
for that reason. So like,
Why you don't have a for possums?
yeah, for possums and stuff. I used to walk them when it was dark, and you'd like see them.
Why, are
roaming
possums
around.
dog killers?
I don't
If
know.
you have a
but
little
dogs
dog, it could.
pounds.
Yeah, I guess so.
Dude, dogs, like I mean,
Dude, my house
domesticated
might
little
get
dogs are
fucked
not
up now.
built. Yeah, they're not built for that living like that. You know, maybe a pit bull would, but no way a little dog.
I was,
But-
this kind of hits me hard because I said last week we have the puppy now. She's growing every day. She's growing, another inch in her legs. She's got these long legs, but she's doing this thing where she goes under the couch and she burrows under the couch. Okay, because she's a terrier, so I think she likes to like dig. So she does that, and sometimes she'll fall asleep under there. But now she's been doing this other thing where she bit like she chewed the underneath of the couch. It's got like a black layer under there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like a
So
pad.
she chewed it, half of it, and what she does now is she gets herself inside the couch and gets stuck in the innards of the couch.
Oh, this is gonna be a great dog.
So my mom and dad are in there, and she keeps doing it. And the other night, my mom's up. I'm listening to my mom. She's like, she's in the couch. They're freaking out because they think they have to flip it. So, and I just go in there and I grab the dog by its head and I rip it out, in a gentle way, of course. But like the dog keeps finding its way, and my mom gets nervous. Like she's going up the back of the. She's
What
in.
if you sit on the couch? Like, does it?
Well, no, because there's springs and all that. It's
Okay, so it wouldn't.
yeah. If you were to turn a couch over, it's like underneath the springs. So
Okay.
like, but then she goes into she's like way deep into it where you can't get her out. So my parents are
That's
every night.
interesting. It's like a cat thing to do.
It is,
That's
and
such a cat thing.
she's gonna outgrow it real fast. She's already getting tight under there. But like my parents freak out, like, oh, we can't get her out. And then 10 minutes later we get her out, and then the same thing happens. And we're stuffing pillows in there now. It's
Oh,
It's something.
well, you gotta find ways. Every time you get a new dog, there's new things that every dog has their own personality, so they all do
Yeah.
their own things.
Yep.
My dog loves to bark at the neighbors behind us. She just sits in the backyard and barks. But it got to the point where we saw her trying to figure out a way to get to the back. So we had to like board up the back because she's small. You don't want to get stuck or anything.
Yep. That's the thing with small dogs. You got to be careful. They'll find a
Yeah.
hole
Yeah,
if they're
no cats,
determined.
man. Can't have any.
And they
cats.
get themselves stuck because they're not smart.
No,
But
not at all.
you know what I
Wanna-
wanted to talk about today? And the reason why I'm thinking about it now is because I just lit up a cigarette. Do you want to know what I got blamed for today?
What?
What?
So I'm on Facebook and I see
Being
a
athletic?
good one. So no, I'm on Facebook and I see a post from a buddy of mine, and he says something along the lines of cigarettes should be banned, like just should be made illegal, or the purchase, or like the cigarette company should ban making it because of all the chemicals they use. So I was defending myself. I had to go on this because I'm one of the few smokers out there, and I'm sick of everybody berating
Pretty big
cigarette
industry.
smokers. We're getting pushed
Yeah,
to
one-
corners.
One of the
It's
One
a
of the
pretty
few.
big industry, man.
What?
One of the few smokers. It's a big industry. It's like-
No, listen, I know, but I feel like I'm one of the last man standing.
Also, I just love how he framed it. He's like, you know what I got blamed for today? And then goes
Yeah.
on to, there's chemicals in cigarettes. Did you make the fucking cigarette?
No. I'm gonna tell you where this goes.
Who are you,
to.
the
I like-
okay.
Marlboro man?
I'm building up my story. All right.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
killing time. I'm
All right.
killing time. So he puts that post up, and right away I'm like, you can't ban cigarettes. If you did that, it's like, are you gonna ban, alcohol because it's bad? You can't ban everything that's bad for you, and it's freedom of choice. That's what America's built on. Your freedom to choose to do something that's harmful to you. We know what's out there. They put all the warnings. We know what we're doing. So then some keyboard warrior, Trisha.
A
Now, I don't
keyboard
know-
warrior named Trisha.
I don't know this lady from a hole in the wall. I never see her on Facebook. Comes at me and tries to blame me for the reason why the country is not reopening because of COVID.
Yeah, I don't see the correlation.
Now, here's
there.
her correlation. And then she tried to guilt me with her son who has learning disabilities or special needs kid.
Turn around and tell her you have learning disabilities too.
Exactly.
Well, I told her,
Well,
I said,
She's
one, I'm
basically
sorry.
talking to an older version of her son.
Yeah, come on.
One, fuck you. Her whole thing was school needs to be reopened in July. I have a special need kids, and because of you smokers, you're filling up the hospital beds, and you're basically the ones putting the stress on the medical system that we have going on right now.
There's that learning disability.
Yeah.
And it was all because of this. So I told her, I'm like, listen, I'm sorry your son has a learning disability. I am. But don't put your frustrations that you're now homeschooling your special needs kid and you hate life right now. Don't take your frustrations out on us smokers. We are not the cause of fucking the lack of reopening in COVID. That got me so annoyed. And it wasn't even my buddy whose post it was. Although I disagreed with him, this idiot comes out there and blames me, saying that I'm the reason why a special need kid can't go back to school.
Yeah, I'm on your side with this, man. She's way out of bounds.
Yeah, I mean, she's nuts for sure.
Right? This is my whole point with the society right now. This shit is nuts.
But
You
my
blame-
problem,
everybody, people are just frustrated and are mad at their situations. And I get it, man. We're all going through it right now. And
Yeah.
everybody's situation sucks. And they're looking for people to blame. Like, it ain't us, babe. It ain't me.
But you know what though? You're right. It's not you, but it is like the people with pre-existing conditions got them somehow, and smoking's probably one of those ways that they got it.
I had my pre-existing conditions by being born.
But it doesn't.
It's effective.
But here's my thing, dude. So
I still think she's wrong though, just so you know. Like I think that
you're not more susceptible to getting it. You're more susceptible for when you do get it to be
could be hospitalized.
Right. Does that mean that everybody who has diabetes because they're fat fucks and they keep eating that fast food, does that mean we should, fat shame everybody who's eating, and saying
No,
they're
but
the
we
cause
could probably
of-
encourage, not doing that. Like the fact that what I think is crazy is you can't even say, hey, maybe we should eat healthier as a country and focus on our immune systems without being called like prejudice.
Who's saying that though? I feel like we could say that.
It's like a Twitter thing.
Oh,
You're not allowed to
Twitter's
body
nonsense,
shame.
though. I mean, you should be able to say that. I think that's
what I'm
fine to
saying.
say.
Listen, I think if somebody said you should stop smoking because it would help you, and I would have a conversation with you, and I would agree with you because I don't agree that what I'm doing is right per se, but smokers and people with pre-conditions, you can't blame them.
The
I
argument.
mean, if
just
every
doesn't make
smoker
sense.
quit
It
smoking
doesn't
today,
make sense.
Yeah, it's a bad
if
argument.
every
for sure.
smoker quit smoking today, our lungs are still shot. Yeah, in the future it would help things, but I mean, it is what it is. And there's people who are healthy who are going in the hospital. Like,
But
No,
it's a
bad
ballsy
argument.
thing to say.
The reason that the hospitals were overcrowded or whatever it was is not because of smokers.
Well, that's my point. And listen, I'm not saying we're
I mean,
helping
listen,
anything.
I'm sure smokers they're more susceptible for this virus or whatever. But who know? It was hitting people at all different angles. Nobody.
That's what I'm saying. It
Yeah,
was hitting
nobody- you're
hospital
right.
workers, and you can't like, okay, yeah, so maybe we are, and maybe you should do something about it. Even if we all quit today, like we're still susceptible to the conditions that we have in our lungs at the moment. Shit takes time.
Right.
So like, it would still take 2 years for all those people with pre-Lyme conditions to start having better lungs. I'm not saying we shouldn't do it.
I don't
but
know
my
who
point-
Trish is, but she sounds like a moron.
Yeah,
doesn't
she just
ha-
sounds like
doesn't make a
It
fair
sounds like
argument.
angry, just like
yeah, Trisha, you
Blind
look
anger.
frustrated, and you're pointing all your anger at the wrong people.
I don't think.
Sounds
And I was proud of myself because I didn't take any shots at her or her son or whatever. Not that I would have, but
Could you
I
imagine
just,
you turned around and started insulting her son?
Yeah. You could've
2 years
blamed
ago
her
I might
son.
have.
You could have blamed her son. You're like, it sounds like your son caught the learning disability from his mom.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I could have made a comment like that. Like a year and a half ago, I probably would have did it without thinking twice. But I just
That
told
could've
her
been
like
pretty funny.
By the way, what
I just told him like your anger's misguided. Agree to disagree on this one, and I'm gonna happily smoke a fucking pack of cigarettes today.
You
Good,
you
man.
sent her
That's
back a
the way to
picture. You
go.
got 4 cigarettes like this. Watch me.
It was just like, who uses their son in a
Hospital bed,
Facebook
here I
overview, man?
come.
Well, she thought I was gonna be like, oh, your son, you're right. No, like I get it. I feel bad for your son.
And what
But,
kind
you
of
know,
learning disability are we talking about? I mean,
It was a.
The
I
kid
think it was a
can't read.
reading disability.
Yeah.
She said it like he just needs
oh,
to
he
go
doesn't
back to
read
school
well.
to read.
Jesus Christ! I grew up in with half my friends couldn't read well.
A week,
I was just gonna
a
say,
couple
I
weeks
know
ago,
plenty of
can't
people
spell
now who
shit.
you could get by without reading.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Listen, we need people that aren't going to go to Harvard. Okay.
She's an overprotective parent who's just looking to point the
Oh,
finger at me.
everybody's. My son has.
This is a great point though about like the internet, where so many people preface shit with like, well, I'm a nurse and blah 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 blah, as if it like validates their point. You
That's
know?
what I was saying.
Yeah.
I wanted to tell her, like, my father had cancer and I'm still not going to put him in harm's way. My smoking isn't putting him in harm's way. Shut up.
Shut up.
The secondhand smoke is hurting him more than the worry about COVID. And he's not around me, but that's neither here nor there.
That's just because he chooses not to be. It has nothing to do with cigarettes. It has everything to do with your personality and your overall.
Well, you know what? Me and my father are going to start bonding again because I picked up the sticks again and I'm golfing.
Good, man.
All right.
Yeah. That's.
What?
I'm happy to hear that.
I went golfing last week and I went golfing this week. And I shot 112 on both rounds.
Now
So you're
from
consistent.
a
But I
scale,
count every stroke. So all you people listening who are making fun of me, like, oh, I shot a 112. Yeah, I'm not good. I know I'm not good. I don't think I'm Tiger Woods. And half of Farmingdale kicks balls over a little bit. They take mulligans. I approached the shot, swung and missed, didn't make contact, counted the stroke.
I feel like you're talking to somebody else and not us right now. Did
Yeah,
somebody
I'm-
accuse you of
different thing.
cheating?
Chick,
What's going on here?
I'm talking to all the Farmingdale golfers that I know who all think they're shooting in the 80s and 90s and
one
they're all
specific person.
fucking cheaters.
One specific.
All right, you're going off on a tangent right now. I don't know what you're talking about.
I thought you liked my tangent. This is for people who lie about their golf scores when they're only cheating themselves. Bunch of fucking idiots.
He has spoken.
So
I
Chick,
did
on
hit a
your
drive
scale,
today that went 1 foot backwards.
That's upsetting.
It went 1 foot
You ever,
backwards.
I don't know how it
you ever
happened.
swing it and shank the floor instead of the ball?
Well, I think what happened was I swung the club and I missed, and when I came back, I hit it or whatever, and it went backwards a foot. Then I wound up teeing up again, but you take the stroke, so I'm hitting 3 off the tee. I got a 7 on the hole, considering I hit my first drive a foot backwards.
Well, that's very impressive.
But I'm just glad to be out in the
Our own
courses.
Tiger Woods, Tiger Chick, everybody.
You're
By
very-
the end of the year, you guys are going to hear me talking about how great of a golfer I am.
oh, that'll be the end of this podcast.
Well, he'll have a new career.
I want to get your both of your takes on this. I'm pretty harsh on the Chris, you going out and people going out and all that stuff.
So was I, and I am starting to go.
So on Saturday night, I had a friend come over to the house.
Female or male?
Female, who actually
Was it to knock boots?
no. But here's the thing. It was a person that had the virus.
Had it
So they're good.
currently?
She tested positive
How long ago?
a month ago.
And she's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
dude, good.
I think
Oh,
you're an idiot.
I know.
I'm
Yeah.
already thinking you're an idiot.
No,
Why?
you're good after that. I got the antibody test today, so I'll know if I had it too.
Because is she healthy yet?
Yes.
I don't mind that she had it and you hung out with them. It's how far removed. You got to make sure she's gone and
Well,
like,
probably like
asym-
a month and a half, 2 months, a while.
2 months.
Oh, okay. Then yeah. I mean, it is what it is, dude. They already had it.
They already had. Now I was a little nervous. I had this person. I first had this person in the backyard. You know, we hung out in the backyard.
And then
But
he
that-
tried to move it to the bedroom.
No, nothing like that. But then we did come into the house at one point. And I feel like all of my, I was so against all of the people meeting up, and then 3 days later after we were on that podcast, I'm like, God, now I'm sitting face to face with somebody that had the virus. I don't know if I'm
You
getting
felt the need to come out to the people.
yes.
I respect it.
Because I feel like I also believe that we need to social distance and we have to continue that, but I'm loosening up my personal rules. It seems.
Can I say something?
Sure, you can.
I was a firm believer of social distancing in the beginning, and I was all about like telling like people need to stay home and stay away from each other. As this thing progresses, things change. And I actually commend you and people who realize that there are certain things where if you're just smart, you could still have interaction and do things, but you have to be smart about it. And it doesn't mean go out and do everything with anyone. Like I wouldn't have went golfing 3 weeks ago. You would have told me I was making fun of and yelling at my friends who were golfing, saying
Right.
they're retarded. And I changed my mind eventually because you realize we can't stay in forever, man. And
You know what?
eventually,
It has to be people you trust. I think.
It's
yeah.
gotta
And then
be
and that was the other
You gotta
part.
do it smart. You gotta,
Yeah, you got to be smart and you got to do it with people you trust.
I don't agree with like that whole Dublin deck thing that happened in Patchogue.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Oh, it was.
People just going to bars and like it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I just don't agree with all that stuff. I think we're not at the point where I don't think it's safe to go out into a big public place with a bunch of people you don't know.
No, it's not. It's definitely not. And
Now
I agree
here's
with
the
you.
other thing. Now this didn't happen yet, but this is gonna happen.
Definitely gonna happen.
I've been in contact with a few comedian friends, and we are set to do a open mic comedy where I'm going to host it in my backyard, and it's going to be 10 comics
And your backyard?
in my backyard. Yeah.
I'm shocked that you're the one who's hosting.
Yeah.
Well, here's my thing. I don't want to say who's involved, and because I don't know if any comics listen to this, but it's a group of 10 guys, and we're going to do it sometime later this week. All right. I know all the guys pretty well. We've all been on a group chat. We're going to social distance. Everybody is pretty. I trust everybody in the group. But I chose. I stepped up. I was like, listen, I'll do it at my house because I don't want to go to somebody else's place. I trust the way I'm going to do it.
And that's where I do get it.
So what we're going to do is we're going to do a just an open mic, just you know, whatever jokes we've been working on, and we're gonna social distance, obviously, under 10 people, 10 people under, and then we'll hang out a little social distance hangout afterwards. You know, maybe get some food and just catch up. What do you think about that? Am I pushing it too far?
No,
Um,
you're smart. I don't.
I
think
don't think you're pushing it too far. I think 10 might be a bit much, honestly, if you're asking my honest opinion.
It's 10 people right now, but I have a feeling that, you know, I'm dealing with 10 comedians, so God knows what's going to happen that day of. So maybe.
No, fair enough. My only concern was that 10 is a bunch. I would have probably did like 5 to start, see how it goes, then maybe do 10. But no, I listen, and this is to my point where my parents had my aunt and a couple close family friends came by and we social distanced in my backyard the other day. You know, like I said, I've been going out golfing. My parents went to another friend's house today and like they social distance outside and they're all older, so they're all concerned. So they're not being stupid, but like what's the point of living if you can't do anything? And I get it. It's only a temporary time. So I'm not acting like we're there
how
yet.
temporary. Like it started with 2 weeks, and now it's been 2.5 months. Like how temporary is it? That's where it starts for me. It started to get like, okay, like we got to make
Well,
some concessions.
I think
to
it
do
was temporary
something.
when we didn't know, like, but when it took over and all these people are dying, that's when you're like, all right, well, maybe we have to push it back.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. But like now that it's been going on for a while, and you see like most of the country is operating basically normally now.
But you know, a lot of those the part of that countries are also it's starting to pop back up there, and they're also
No, I know that, but that's what I'm saying. Like you could do it in a smart way personally. You can't make decisions for other people. Like you saw that party in the Ozarks or something like that, that pool party.
yeah, no, exactly.
Like you can't make decisions for those people, but I feel like personally we can make the choice. If you want to have a few friends over and not touch each other and just have a couple drinks by, you know, your pool or whatever, you can do that.
And
I
and,
agree.
and
I
Do it
think so.
responsibly.
But I
can I
think,
ask you guys one opinion real quick before you get into that? B, I'm sorry.
yeah, no.
Do you guys think if you go to somebody's house, social distancing, going in a pool is dangerous?
I wouldn't go in the pool.
Right?
Personally, I wouldn't, but
Yeah, because you spit. I know personally, a lot of snot flies out of my nose when I
Well,
spit.
that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of spit, snot, and you don't even realize you're doing it. It's not like in a
Yeah,
bad way.
no, it just happens.
Because a friend of mine's having some people over, and they might even be listening, and you know, and a couple people over, a small, very small get together, and I'm gonna go, and they just opened their pool, and I was thinking to myself, do I even want to go in the pool? That I might be a little weary on. But yeah, I'm gonna go to the house. That's what I'm saying. You got to be smart, and the other thing that I've been seeing, and I'm not a big fan of those stupid Facebook posts that go around that everybody shares when it's like a long thing of how people should go about doing things. Like it was based. Did you ever see those things that people share where it's like be kind, be nice, and like it winds up getting like viral and everyone's sharing it?
Yeah, I've seen viral things.
So like I've seen one that was basically saying that like getting back to COVID, everyone, you can't start getting mad at people who are nervous. Like you can't judge other people for the pace that they get back to normal. So like somebody who's doing one thing, you may not agree with it, but like you all have to. This is the part where everybody's got to be like, you got to be very understanding of everybody's situation. You can't judge anybody who's doing things differently than you to an extent because
What's going on with you? What are you looking off at?
Are you good?
my dog just got let out and now she's bothering me. I'm sorry.
You said
I wish you
the same
guys.
thing about
I mean,
5
people
times
listen.
circling
People
around.
listen and don't really watch us. So sometimes I figure I can get away with I'm talking, and you guys.
Well,
see
you
my heads.
could, but you're also you're just circling back around on the same thing.
Yeah, you keep
Sort of tell that. I don't know where you're going.
Well, the whole point was.
Yeah, we
basically-
don't need you to say it again, but we get it.
something. Yeah, everyone their own pace, distance. Got it.
We
It
got
was
it.
just a thing I saw on Facebook. That was like one of the first times I ever seen something like that, and I agreed.
When are you gonna get off Facebook, by the way? Because you were
I'm
trolling
never.
me this week. You were trolling me with my new.
B, I'll
baking
troll
video.
you to the day I die.
That's good. I figured you would.
And you deserve to be trolled for that. And I'm on Team Lizzie. Can you tell everybody what we're talking about?
Yeah. So I had a baking. I put out another baking video. I baked banana bread, and it involves also my parents made an appearance at the end.
And that's the only part of the video worth watching.
I disagree. I think it's good. There's some good jokes in the middle of it. But I did cut down. Here's the problem. I filmed so much of it that I cut down. I spent probably 2.5 hours editing and cutting down stuff.
You
And
should have
the
did another half hour.
video was still 17 minutes long. It was almost 20 minutes long.
You got to learn how to just cut and boom. Like there's a lot of little nonsense that you let go in there
Well,
that you could cut out.
all right. So I did put the updated one on Instagram, and that's down to 12 minutes.
Oh,
So
all right, good.
I cut out a bunch, and I think
Your mother's appearance in the middle and the end were priceless. I love your parents.
yeah, my parents.
And when she taught you how to put the mixer on,
Oh my God, when it.
when you turned it around and it fell right out,
It just
and then
fell
she
out.
put it on for you.
By the way, there was also a part. There was a lot of good stuff. There was even one part where my mom comes in and she teaches me how to plate the bread, which is basically taking the bread and putting on a plate. And my mom looks at me as I'm filming and she just goes, "I love you so much, you know that." And I was like, "We're doing this on camera. You're gonna make me look soft." And
You
It was
cut
like-
it.
You cut
I
that?
cut it. Yeah, I cut
Oh,
You are the see. This is your problem. Those are the things that you can't cut. That's like
Yeah.
must see TV.
I know. But it was, at that point I was already like 14 minutes in. And I'm like, I
It
just
doesn't
don't-
matter at that point. You leave that in there because at least you give somebody something to laugh
for
about.
it.
Yeah,
You're bad at your editing. You're not a
I
good
know I
producer.
am. What do you want from me? I'm learning.
But let's
I-
get to the point. So B puts this thing up, and in the middle of the tape, in the video, they're bad mouthing their daughter and his sister.
Of course. In the middle,
three
right
of
from the
them,
beginning.
You could tell the three of them, and the reason why I know is because I have this relationship where it's me and my parents, and then like we could talk about my brother and his family and that and stuff, because we're like we're a crew. So this family, B and his parents
This
versus
family.
Liz. Liz is the oddball.
What do you mean she's the oddball?
She's the odd one out. It's like you three are clicked up, and Liz is on the
You was-
Well,
outside.
That's
you
what
didn't
moved out.
explain that at all. So, once again, Chick, you explain things in the eyes of only you watching it.
No, I didn't get into the baking part yet. I was getting to it. You
Right,
always
but
are
why
like-
would so
You
the
kind
video
of left it, and then
the video starts. So what happened was my sister sent me some banana bread, and it was god awful. I mean, it was the worst bread I've ever tasted in my life.
damn.
It wasn't good, and I decided I was already doing a banana bread video, but this pushed me into overdrive. I was like, all right, here I go. I'm gonna come back and make a real banana bread. So trickled throughout the video is me sort of saying some stuff about my sister's bread, how it wasn't great. She gave us this, it was awful. And then my parents come in the end, and the bread is brought up again. My parents also kind of agree with me that her bread was less than desirable. So that's what he was saying. But then Chick gets on Facebook. I put this on Facebook.
Team Lizzie, baby.
The original 20-minute video, and I wrote on the description, I'm sorry that it's so long, blah blah blah. My parents are in it.
I fast forwarded to when I saw your
Oh,
parents.
see, that's why you missed out on a lot of good stuff. I'd like
couldn't. I tried watching it, B, and I couldn't.
20
So I'd
minutes.
like you to rewatch that, because there was some good lines in there. And
All right, I will. I promise you I will. But I just fast forwarded to see your parents because I like them more than you.
See, this
And
is why you can't take anything he says seriously, because he's the first to comment on it, and he goes, this video was horrible. The only good thing about it was your parents. But we find out all he did was fast forward to my parents. So you didn't see anything.
Oh,
you know,
you saw it.
You're so uncredible. That's what you are. And the fact that you're smoking and taking up hospital beds also sickens me. Now I'm on Team Trish.
And the possible what? Now my smoking sickens you.
Yeah. I'm on Team Trish.
Team Trish.
You just
Trish could
team-
fucking blow me.
But yeah, I did cut the video down. But so Chick does this whole trolling thing where he involves himself in like Facebook threads, and now me and my sister are going at it. And she challenged me to a bake off, and I'm gonna bake off with my sister, and she's gonna lose, obviously. And it's all
Oh
like,
no, not. She's gonna win. But
Well-
but I also feel like she needed some support because it's you and your parents versus Liz. And Chris
Fact
is
to fact.
useless.
Fact
Chris
to
is useless. So
Why
I had to
is
step
he-
up. He don't have Facebook. He's not on there to defend his wife.
he commented in that same post.
Whatever. He's an idiot.
All right. Well, I encourage you all to go to the Instagram version of my banana baking thing.
No, go to the Facebook version, please, so you can
No,
see
because
that.
that's too long.
20
It's
minutes
too
is
long.
much too long.
It's
So
too-
watch the video on Instagram, but then for the comment section, go to the Facebook post.
Well, here's the thing. I will say this. For the people that did watch it on 20 Minute, which people did, those people were rewarded by watching it because they saw there was a lot of good jokes in there, and I stand by that. Not great jokes, obviously, it's off the cuff.
This
But-
is what comics have come to, is that you have to watch his cooking video to get some of his jokes.
You gotta watch
Exactly.
20 minutes of baking bread for 3 jokes.
There's more
Yeah.
than 3 jokes.
B's got his first 20-minute set ever.
Oh, come on. I've done- First of all, one night I did 27, so I don't want to hear it.
What was fucking half of it? You coughing or fucking stuttering?
Yes, that was it. That was
Yeah.
it.
All right.
You just
fuck
did half
that.
my jokes right there. You're an idiot.
Well, I know we did a nice little. We had a bunch of stuff more, I think, than we planned on to talk about. But let's get into this game that we have designed that B took the time to create. And since we always do these games, getting to know me and B, and it's a little unfair towards Chris because as far as our lives, he's only been in the last 5% of our
No
lives.
shot of winning.
He never has a shot at winning. It's basically
you
him.
do
doing
have a
it.
shot at winning at some of these,
It's always like, what did Chick do when you were 4 years old?
but
Yeah.
not all of
I
them
mean,
are.
the spelling
all
bee was
are.
all on you in
The
our
spelling
defense.
bee, I could have won.
The spelling bee is just
There
yeah,
was
that's-
also some other ones where listen.
the
I'm sorry.
karaoke.
I'm sorry. I have to run upstairs for 1 second. I apologize. Can you talk
Don't
amongst
worry,
yourselves?
you didn't have to say that, B. We would have been fine. But
You would have been confused as to why I ran
will
away.
say, I've listened back to the karaoke. I'm proud of that. I stand by it.
can I tell you, I was proud of all of us on that karaoke.
We did a great job on that one. We all did it, and we did it like we owned it.
Yeah, it may not have been good. I can still hear you doing it to this day. Like I can just picture it. Hey, ho, the mistletoe. But no, the thing is, they've been a little biased. Not even biased. They've just been a little weighted towards. Like we've had B's friends and my friends come on to do these games, and we all know each other a little more than you. So we figured it's only fair that we kind of have a what would Chris pick, as opposed to what would Chick pick or what would B do. And I know B took the time today to make some questions. Personally, I want to do this game again after this because there are some questions that I would like to create, and I didn't know we were going to do it today, and I was golfing. So
All right.
I hope
so
I'm looking forward to seeing what B
I
has.
just
in
kind of
store.
I'm catching that last thing of what you said. I kind of did it real fast today, this afternoon. So we'll see where it's at. But
And while you're getting ready, I do want to promote one thing this week. On Friday, I don't know when the episode will be released.
yeah, get into that.
I am making another appearance on the Whole podcast. They are finally back after their long break, and my buddy Rob invited me to be on the show this Friday.
They
so
are back after being gone. When was the last episode? 2006.
We were probably relatively me and you going on that show last year around this time last year, I think it was. was one of their last episodes that they recorded before they took a little. They took almost a year break, man. But yeah, I'm excited to go back on. I think we're gonna do it virtual, and it's gonna be live. So anybody on Facebook, you can go on at 10 o'clock, Facebook Live, and you can check me out. I'll
10
be
a.m. or p.m.
PM, 10 p.m.
10
Okay,
p.m.
maybe I'll do that.
So
Yeah,
this
so-
Friday, you guys can check me out live. I have no idea what to expect. I will probably be the butt of most of their jokes. That's how we did. But I'm looking forward to it, and I'm gonna have a lot of fun with it. And yeah, so you can catch me. Chick's got another podcast to do.
I'm very much looking forward to that.
No, that'd be
I
really
can't wait to watch it and see what you do on there.
I'm a little more nervous this time than I was last time because one, we're doing it virtual, which you think would be more comforting, but I'd rather be there with them.
It's really not.
Yeah, it's not more comfortable doing it virtual because I don't know, it's just weird. And I don't have B with me this time, or Chris for that matter. Like I don't have a partner in crime to go in there with. So I'm looking forward to it though. And yeah, so everybody keep an eye out.
So the whole podcast on Friday. Check it out. That'll be fun to get into.
And that's going to come out on the podcast app too, right? If they don't,
I
see it
believe
live.
I don't know how they're doing it with all this virtual stuff. I promise I will let you
I'm
know
sure they
more.
will.
I'm
But
sure
if I remember correctly, because I pretty much it'll come out on the podcast app and it will be live on Facebook.
sweet.
So yeah, I got that going. First time I have ever had anything to promote.
That's good, man. Well, I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to that. All right, so let's get into this game. Like you were saying before, I'm sorry, Chick. I know you kind of wanted to be a part of this.
Yeah, it's okay though. I get it. I'm just glad you put it together.
It's a late night. We're like we said, we're recording it late. So I wanted to get a guest, but it was late to ask somebody. So I came up with this. We've done it for all of us here, I think. And Chris, tonight is your night. What would
I
Chris,
think this is going to be the most fun because I think everybody wants to know Chris more. I think including our listeners.
Yeah,
You're like a fucking enigma.
he is an
I
enigma.
like that word.
Yeah. I don't know how much we'll learn about him tonight with these questions, but we'll see where his mind is at.
You know what we learn about him? When you see people's critical thinking, and I think it does tell you a lot. Regardless, like you got to look beyond the answer. You got to look where his mind took it, as opposed to what the actual answer is.
That's
Like with me and you, we know each other so well. I know what you're gonna pick for the most part, and you know me because you know my idiot mentality and vice versa.
yes. I agree. That's a great point. And critical thinking, when you watch somebody where their mind is going to go, it tells a lot. So we will see.
It's like showing those pictures and saying, "What do you see?" And then everyone has a fucking weird answer.
Yeah. And one guy's like murder.
But
You're like, wait a second.
It's
That was the only wrong answer.
like a picture of a tree, and he's like, "Oh, I see genocide."
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
whoa.
It's a butterfly, and somebody's just smashing. He's like, I see somebody smashing a head up against a wall.
Is that normal?
That's not blood splatter. All right. Let's get this thing going. What would Chris pick? Question number 1. Now, Chick, you're going to answer first.
Okay.
So how this is going to work, we're not going to keep score. We don't have it. So basically, I'm going to say the question. Chick, you're going to pick what you think Chris is going to
And then you pick.
And then Chris, you're gonna say what
You're not gonna pick what you think you're gonna pick either.
I guess I will. Yeah.
You might as well.
Yeah, you're right.
Might as well.
All right. Question number 1, Chris. The documentary "Open Your Eyes" becomes a huge Netflix hit. Okay, it becomes big. Netflix buys it. You and Dr. Kerry Gelb go on the Joe Rogan podcast to talk about it. But the reason it becomes so big is because throughout your research, both of you go blind.
Oof.
Do you sign up for that?
No.
Chris, don't answer.
You answered right away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can I say it didn't even matter that he said that? This is already how Chris's games go. You can never figure him out. But no, I knew he was going to say no because Chris likes traveling too much, where I feel like he wouldn't give up the fun in life for success in this fucking documentary.
Oh, but you'd be on Joe Rogan, and the whole thing would switch to be like, this incredible documentary. These guys put so much into it that they both went blind.
He's a one-trick pony then, and then he can never do anything else.
Well, then you're right. But you have all that
Well,
success.
thanks for blowing the first question.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That was such a visceral no. I'm sorry.
I knew he was. I was trying to get in because I saw his face as you were saying. I'm like, he's going to answer.
There couldn't have been a quicker no. I'm sorry about that. Next
He
time
was
we'll hold it back.
Well,
You
we
think-
know that Chris can't spell and he can't follow directions.
Yeah. All right. Question number 2. All right. So we've been getting a lot of listens during the quarantine. So here's the deal: Adult Babies gets picked up by a major podcast network. Okay. And we all get paid. It's now our full-time job. The podcast is our full-time job. But here's the thing: the network bigwigs sit down with you, Chris, and they say, in order to stay attached to the podcast, you have to get fat and shave your head to stay on brand. Does Chris stay on brand? Now they'll fire you.
I want to say yes because I think Chris is dedicated to the podcast, but Chris is such a health nut that he's not willing to give up years of his life for this podcast.
See, I agree with you. I think he's out. I don't think he has the ability to gain weight. I don't think it would even happen. So I would say no. I think you'd be out of the podcast if we get picked up by a major network and they say, listen, we like you guys, but Chris, you got to become fat and bald. I don't think you'd do it.
Can I answer?
Yes,
No, absolutely not.
I knew that.
Because if we get picked up by a network and the first thing they say is, hey man, everything's great except you're not fat or bald enough, I don't want to work for that network.
And me and Chick will happily work for that, making good
Do
money.
Chris, we'll find your replacement real quick.
That's fine.
You kidding me? To be my first time getting a real job
That's
off
fine.
of this shit. No, I would just ask you to wear a suit. Would you put on a fat suit? Like a fat suit?
For skits, I don't.
No, you got to.
All the time? No.
No, I'm just saying. I know he already said no in the question, but I'm asking for that thing. Would you wear a fat suit? Not all the time, but anything Adult Babies oriented, fat suit.
Yeah, I think
and
that'd be
bald
pretty
head.
funny. Yeah.
You would stay in a fat suit all the time.
No, just
No.
for if we were filming filming something.
Anything Adult Babies oriented.
Oh, anything Adult Babies.
That'd be
We're
funny.
making live appearances. You got to show up.
I think it'd be funny to do that and not acknowledge it.
That would be funny.
I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah, I think that'd be great.
And not acknowledge it too. That would be great.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
All right. So I think we learned that Chris is not all about our brand. He would.
What we did learn is that I would give my life for this podcast. Chris wouldn't even put his cholesterol up for it.
It's the same thing.
Not really.
All right, Chris, would you? You have your option here: 6 months in Nassau County Jail, or 3 minutes in the octagon with Chris Cyborg in the ultimate Chris versus Chris battle. What do you choose?
Don't say anything, Chris. I think Chris would go into the octagon for 3 minutes because he trains and he thinks he'll be able to defend himself enough that even if he loses, he'll recover.
I agree. I think we see the Chris versus Chris battle in the octagon. I think he goes in there. I think he gets hurt, but he goes in there.
I am all in for the Chris versus Chris battle.
Wow. You can get really injured.
Yeah, but you know what? It's 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
He wouldn't even make 3
I'll
minutes.
get over it.
Dude, you be
That's
done.
what I'm saying. He'll get over the beating.
All
I
right.
just gotta cover my head. Everything else.
Would you go in there with any game plan other than defense?
No, you can't. Chris Cyborg? No.
He doesn't
But I
come.
mean, like, I know,
have fun.
yeah, but you wouldn't even hope that you get like a punch in.
No, run. I would just avoid.
Do you
Dude,
think how long do you think you could avoid him?
it's a her, right?
her.
Her,
and,
I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Not even 30 seconds, but I avoid and then I cover my head and that's it.
He would attack you like a hyena on a groundhog.
Yeah, chick, have you ever seen this woman? She's a monster.
No, yeah, she's the one who just won that fight, right? Didn't she just fight? Well, not like just fought, but like relatively, like right before the quarantine, or no?
I don't think so.
Then maybe I'm not thinking. Maybe I'm
But
thinking of
she's a
somebody
monster.
else.
Yeah, look her up at some point. She's a monster.
I will. I'll look her up.
It's interesting that you won't get fat for our podcast, but you get your ass handed to you by in UFC.
I forgot. What was the other thing? 3 months where?
6
months
months in
Jail, Nassau County Jail. Who the
6
fuck
months.
wants to sit in jail for 3
Fuck
months?
jail, bro.
Nassau County.
He's a skinny white kid, bro. He don't stand a chance in
Come
jail.
on,
None of
man.
us do.
I'd
I'm
take
not saying I would
the
hold any better, but you wouldn't do too well.
It's in East Meadow. It's not. You'll be fine.
There's no criminals in East Meadow.
It's not prison. It's not prison. You're not going upstate. It's
I feel like you have a better chance upstate.
kitty cat jail. All
It's
right.
kitty cat jail.
UFC
She's
all
trying
day.
to talk him into jail.
UFC all day. I'll do it twice.
All right.
I'll do 6 minutes.
He'd rematch Cyborg.
All right, Chris. Question number 4. Would you rather never leave the United States ever again, or walk around with bleach blonde hair for the rest of your life? What does Chris choose here?
Oh, this is an easy one. You're giving him fucking softball, V. He would easily go light blonde hair. There's no way he's staying in America the rest of his life.
But he's got to. I mean, imagine me now. Chris has a nice. He's got dark hair. Can you imagine that bleach blonde?
He doesn't lose the waves in the nice part of it. He just turns blonde. It is what it is.
But he's gonna look like he's gonna.
Hey,
be,
guess what? Eventually, it all turns gray.
Yeah, but even when it's gray, they're gonna have to. They're gonna have to dye it blonde, which is gonna be even weirder. When he's an old man, woof. But I do agree with you. I think. I think he chooses.
Me and B think the exact same way
I
of you. At least you know that.
It's not even close. Bleach blonde
God, you.
all day.
See, these are softballs. Right now, I feel like I know him very well, but that's because these answers are blatantly
Not
obvious.
even close.
Maybe they are.
Can I
Yeah,
ask you a
pandemic.
question?
A pandemic didn't keep me in the U.S. What are you talking
I
about?
have a 4B
But
to
how
this.
embarrassing you! You're gonna look ridiculous.
No, I'll look great, dude. I'll fucking grow it. I'll slick it back, grow it. It'll look great.
Oh boy.
I have a 4B. I have a 4B, B. In to the
What's-
same question, because it's basically the same question, but would you not be able to leave the country at all ever again, or for your next trip out of the state, out of the country, you have to spend a week in a third world jail before you could start to revisit other places? Fuck a week, a month.
A month? No, a month. I don't think
1 month for the rest of your life you could travel. This is a little harder for him because he either stays here for the rest of his life or he deals with God knows what for 1 month and then he's good.
United States.
What?
I can travel around the United States.
Yes, I know the answer to. I'm asking B. I mean Chris.
Oh, you said B.
No, I said 4B.
Oh,
Because was your question 4, like 4A, 4B?
Oh, I thought you meant 4B.
No, I meant like
Yeah.
question 4B.
still sounds like it's for me, but all right.
Well, I'm sorry, your name is B. What do you want me to tell you?
I don't know. That's a tough one, man. Like,
Dude,
what
that's a
is real
tougher one,
country?
B. This is what B needed me.
I did.
Ah, I feel like I could do. It's a month.
A month.
Yeah,
31
I-
days, a long
yeah,
month.
You do a month in a prison and outside, and you can't do 6 months in Nassau County Jail. Then you don't know what jail is.
No, it's just the choices you gave him. The other one's a 3-minute beating. Everybody gets their ass kicked
I'll get my
sometime.
ass kicked for 3 minutes, dude. Compared to jail, I don't give a
You
fuck.
might not recover. You
You
might
might get
not
your ass kicked for 3 minutes in jail too.
Yeah, there's no thing. You might not. You might have PTSD for the rest
not
of
in
your life.
Nassau County.
Honestly, I might pick the just travel the U.S. thing. I guess.
There is so much in the United States.
Yeah, there's a lot to see.
I mean, I think you'd be
I
fine.
personally don't want to leave the country, not ever again, but until I visited everywhere in the country first,
So you'll
or
never.
everywhere that I've wanted to go. But anyway, I'm sorry, B. Go question 5.
All right. Question 5. In episode 106 of the Adult Baby Show, titled "Questions in the Queue," Chris, you said that you would like to sit down with Sam Harris to ask science-y questions.
Yeah.
Okay? He was the guy that you chose out of anybody. Him and Sam Dawkins or something like that. What was the other guy?
I don't remember, but someone like that. It might have been Dawkins.
So you're going to get your wish. You and Sam Harris will sit down for a meal under one condition. Midway through the meal, one of you will choke on a piece of chicken. Okay? Would you rather you choke or Sam Harris chokes? Now, here's the thing before we do it. Whoever chokes, the other person has to try to save them. Okay? So if you choke, it's Sam Harris has to save you.
All right, don't answer, Chris.
If Sam Harris is choking, that leaves it up. You could kill Sam Harris.
Can I answer this?
Well, you're gonna have to.
No, I'm saying, even if it was for me, like my favorite person, of course I'd want them to choke and leave it up to me. Because 2 things. If you fail, I'd rather them die than me. 2, if you save them, you just saved your hero. You get unrestricted probably access to that person going forward.
It's an excellent.
So in Chris's way, I would like to think that he doesn't want to die, and he probably don't trust this motherfucker to save him. Let's just put the ball on his foot, because you know what? At the end of the day, if he dies and you don't save him, oh well.
Don't you think there'd be a little bit of people coming at, like, I can't believe this guy couldn't save him? Like,
No, because I'm not a licensed fucking EMT, or I don't have that. Like, it's not that easy.
okay. I would want the other guy to choke too.
Yeah, me too.
I'm a
You
complete
kidding?
selfish asshole.
Are you fucking kidding? Dude, halfway through dinner, I've already got to ask him a bunch of questions. I got my info. And Chick brought up a good point. If you save him, great.
Yeah.
Great. But if you don't, you didn't die. So, But you can save him, which would be great.
You probably aren't going to save him, and you're going to kill your hero. I mean,
You're not killing
He's
him.
not my hero. I want to ask him questions. Let's not get crazy.
this is another matter of we don't know you that well.
Well, this is another one of those things where it's like Mickey Mantle won't pay your bills.
That's right. All right, question number 6.
What, you don't know Bronx Tale? What is
I
it,
know
Mickey
Bronx-
Man? Mickey Mantle won't pay your mortgage?
Yeah, we know. Poor Calogero, by the way. That guy had a rough. He had a rocky.
You know what's funny? I've been rewatching Sopranos, and I didn't even know he was in Sopranos. What a shit! He was basically his real life person in that one.
Yeah. All right, Chris. Question number 6. Would you rather be forced to carry 3 pieces of luggage with you every time you travel, or live the rest of your life in North Dakota? Now, if you remember back, I don't know, 50 episodes ago,
They're the easiest questions.
you railed on North Dakota. You had a major problem with North Dakota.
Still do.
Still do, he says.
Jack, what do you pick?
Of course he's taking the 3 pieces of luggage everywhere, even though he hates carry-on.
All right. I agree.
Yeah, of course.
That's every one of these, we agree, and Chris is going to go right with us.
Come on.
It's so good.
How drunk were you when you made these today?
I did it at 3 in the afternoon. I was not drunk at all.
I did it at 3 in the afternoon. I was hammered.
All right. Question number 7, Chris.
So far, the best question is the one I made up on the fly.
Yeah, if you learn how to say it right. All right, Chris, number 7. You're overseas with your girlfriend. You get an anonymous tip that she's a drug smuggler. You don't believe the tip at first, but later, while going through your bags, you find drugs in your bags, and you talk to your girlfriend about it, okay? She says she's sorry, but she just can't stop smuggling drugs. Do you turn her in, or do you join her in the smuggle business?
I don't think Chris would. Is there? Can I have a C?
No.
He joins her in. Actually, you know what? Chris doesn't love her enough. He turns her in. No, that came out so wrong. I didn't mean he doesn't love her enough. I mean, he'll find somebody else. He's a good-looking young guy.
So he turns her in?
He turns her in, moves on. I don't picture Chris wanting to be a drug smuggler.
I disagree. I think he joins it.
See, that is where B knows me more. I am all in on being a drug smuggler.
You go in on it.
All right, let me ask you this question.
I am all
Seven.
in. You know how exhilarating that lifestyle would be?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it'd be interesting. You'd have a lot of great stories.
That'd be fun.
You and Kira get caught with drugs now.
Yeah.
This is a furthering on this question, right? If you take the fall, you get 30 years. If you convince her to take the fall, she gets 3 years. Do you take the fall, or do you let your girl go in prison for 3? Because realistically, that's probably the safer play for both of you to live a life together. In highest penitentiary, like complete fucking 24-hour lockdown.
He's got to send his girlfriend to jail?
Basically, they both get caught. For whatever reason, she'll get a 3-year sentence. It's irrelevant why. He gets 50. Or what I said? No, I said 50. No, 30.
30.
Fuck it. We'll make it a little, 30 and 3.
Okay.
Cool. I mean, it really depends on whose drugs they are.
It's her drugs, I think.
But you just joined in on the smuggling. You're both
this is still part of the smuggling.
That's what I said. I said you're both smuggling the drugs. You get caught now.
All right.
Do you make her? Do you try and talk her into taking the fall so you can live a life with her afterwards, or do you be a man
No, I
and
don't
not
think
let
you
your
can
girl?
force someone else to take the fall. No, I think that's wimpy. You can't do that.
But you're both at fault. Neither one of you is safe, or you know what I mean? Like it's not
but
like
you
she's
still
innocent.
have to be responsible for your actions. Like you
It's
still.
very wimpy and easy to say on a
But
podcast.
50 years, she's fucked now. She's not having man. 3, you could stick by her, and you have a
It is
future.
what it is.
It's over.
Like a gamble you lost.
I would have said that because of this, you wanted to say that, but I think the real answer, when push comes to shove, you make her take the 3.
I don't think I could do that.
So you'd rather
First of all, I'll tell you guys right now. I'm not going to prison.
What? That's not an option.
going to prison.
I'm not
Give
going.
him sentence.
That's not an option, Chris.
No, it's an option. It's just not an option in this game.
Yes, we know you're not going to prison.
No.
You'd probably run or kill yourself.
But I'm out.
You'd run out like scuttlebutt.
I'm out.
But that's not an option.
Right. But no, I think in this scenario, no, you can't. If you're doing something, you have to, and you get caught, you have to take the fall for it. Having someone else take the fall for your shit is.
Even though it's 3 years.
it was
It
all
doesn't matter.
you just wanted to take pictures. You wanted to be a travel blogger, and she becomes a drug smuggler. This is all.
Well, then I should have turned her in.
Now I gotta do 30? I gotta do 30 years? She gets 3.
I should have turned her in.
Yeah, but then here's my thing. In 3 years, you guys get your life together still. And
Right.
now
It's gonna be
now
perfect.
you're both.
It's gonna be
Now
perfect.
your life is
Someone's
over
been in jail
and
for
hers
3
is
years.
over.
Yeah,
No, it doesn't make sense.
look at you.
Can't do
Good
it.
for you, Chris.
I can't do it.
Kira's gonna be happy with this show.
That'd be a
All
real
right, B, let's
breeze.
see if I could come up with any questions off of your questions again. Go again.
All right. Question number 8. Chris, you worked on a movie called The Boy Who Only Hit Homers.
The kid.
The kid that only hit homers. In this scenario, the movie gets sold to a major network, and it's a hit. Okay. Then they decide to make a spinoff, and they want you to star in it. The spinoff will be called The Kid That Only Strikes Out. And it's a box office disaster. Okay. But you get a decent paycheck from it, but it's probably not going to get you much work in the future. Do you take the deal? Do you
Does
start?
it hurt him for taking it, B? Like if he
What?
takes it, does it hurt him for taking it?
Well, here's the deal. So
Does he lose anything else?
he gets a good paycheck. He stars in the movie, but it's a disaster, and it's so bad that he really doesn't get work afterwards. So it's sort of like a one-hit thing. You got it. You didn't.
Well, here's my thing. I don't think Chris wants to be an actor, so I think the one hit and done is good enough for him. So he takes it. It's fun. You try it out. Oh well, and then he can go behind. He can go behind the scenes now.
Here's it. But he only. I don't know if this movie, the kid who hits homers, gets picked up. It's only he could choose what it is now, or it becomes a major success. So you kind of have that behind you. You worked on a movie that was a big time movie, and they hire you to do this, or you keep it the way it is now, which it's like an indie movie.
You just changed everything.
Yeah. So what are the options? So what's going on?
At first,
right
it was
now?
him doing a sequel. Would he do it, even though it blew?
Yeah,
And now you changed everything.
no. I didn't change
So
anything.
no. So wait, it's either a success and I do the sequel, or it is what it
It
is.
stays what it is.
Okay. Cool.
But his sequel blows.
Yeah.
The sequel is called The Boy Who Only, the kid that only strikes out, and
I
it
think
strikes out big
yeah.
time in theaters.
he does it, and he takes his success and he blows as the actor. I don't think Chris cares about the acting, but it would be fun to do and an experience. Chris takes the success on the other project. He's a team player. He's not a me guy.
But doesn't that stink stays on you that you were like so bad in this movie?
You know what? A lot of people have shit that fucking happens, and who gives a fuck?
All right, I don't know. I'm kind of torn with this one. I guess, for argument's sake, since I am torn, I'd pick the other one. I don't think he does it.
I think I'd do it.
You do it? All right.
Yeah, I think I'd do it for what Chick said. Like, I don't want to be an actor really. So to have one that's really successful would be cool. But then also, if your movie's horrible and you suck in it, you could make a huge joke out of that.
True.
You know, you can be like, how many shitty movies did
Nicolas Cage.
well, Nicolas Cage? Yeah, that's a great example actually. But
Think about how many bad movies some of these guys do.
yeah.
This is one and done, and it's a laughing stock, though.
No, I know, but he doesn't want to. He's not an actor who
Yeah,
this
but
is
then
ruining
it's
his
like,
career.
remember that time I was in that movie and it sucked? Like, you could just
But your whole producing any of that stuff is out the window because you kind of get tarnished. You're like, oh, this guy had something to do with all this stuff.
You're changing it as it goes.
You're a little
just to
bit
make it-
changing it.
I'm not changing it. All right. Last question. And Chicken, do you have something to piggyback?
Not on that one.
Okay. Last question. Chick, this goes out to you. Can Chris spell quarantine?
You know what? I
Yep.
think after his last embarrassment on the spelling bee, and Chris, it was bad when I listened back.
Oh, it's horrible.
And the only thing I will say in your defense, I don't think you're as bad a speller as that made it out to be. I think you need to write it out. Like I think if you were writing, you could spell.
Yeah.
So although you seem like a kid who couldn't spell, I think writing, I give you the benefit of the doubt. Because one of those I felt like was a mistake that you made because you were thinking and got lost.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I need to write it out, but I'm also not a great speller.
Yeah, this, I think, quarantine, if you've seen this word everywhere, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and say yes, because if you can't, I'm not surprised if you can't, but I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and say yes.
I'm not surprised if you can't, but I'm disappointed.
I am disappointed. I will be.
The problem with this word or the whatever, this word is, you see it every day.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying. You
There's
see
no-
it everywhere. It's probably in his mind subconsciously. He doesn't even know it.
probably is.
I don't think he could spell it.
I'm excited about this question.
Do you think you could spell it?
Yeah, I'm gonna try it. Quar. It's just this one that I'm not sure about. Antine. Got it? Nice.
You did. And you also,
Oh my God, that made me so proud.
All right.
That made me proud. That's not an easy word.
All right. It's that A is tricky.
I knew it. I was like, oh, did you see me on the side there? I hope if people were watching, I was like, oh, that's great. You know what, Chris? B gave you a good ones, and I like this, and I'm happy that we got to do this for you. This is making me. I'm gonna put together one, and I'm gonna get personal.
Yeah, you know what?
These were softball questions, and I respect B for doing it.
Funny now that
Get ready. I'm gonna put you on the hot seat.
Let's do it.
Now that I say
Not
it,
right now. I'm
Oh,
just
yeah,
saying.
no,
like,
I know
yeah,
it.
I'll do
Yeah.
it for you. And I want to bring one of your friends on for it because I think it's only fair that we get somebody who knows you to help answer these questions.
Awesome.
I want to say Diesel because I like him. He's such a disaster. I want Diesel on again.
If we can pin him down.
I don't trust the au pair to
Oh my God,
figure.
yeah,
I don't think he'll be able to comprehend a game. Like the rules would be too hard to teach him. So I want to get Diesel on, or I will even take Kira if Diesel can't. Even though your girlfriend knows you better than anybody, and it will probably be a shoo-in for her to get them all right.
Yeah, that's a rigged game.
I enjoy her on here, and I would have no problem bringing her on. My preferred person is Diesel.
Sweet. All right, I can make that happen.
yeah, we could definitely do that. By the way, I when I'm doing these, I was like, oh man, these are gonna be good. These are gonna be good. And as I'm reading, I'm like, oh no, I know the answer midway through.
Well, you know what it was? It's not even that like the questions are bad. It's just the answers for him at least
Yeah,
were easy in my opinion.
you're right.
They were like I know him well enough to answer those.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I want to get personal, Chris.
All right.
I might have to have you proofread the questions before we come. No, I'll be all right. I'll be G-rated,
Yeah,
but
who
we'll
knows
be
what you're gonna put in there?
what?
I said, who knows what you're gonna put in these questions?
Yeah, who know? I don't know what I'm gonna put in there because it depends on the mood I'm in at the time.
Oh god.
No, that was cool though.
I had fun this episode. I do want to thank people for continuing to listen to us because our views have been up and listens.
And more than
For-
ever, yeah.
Yeah, more than ever for this quarantine, and we appreciate everybody sticking with us.
There's got to be something wrong. I don't know what's going on.
What?
There's something
Oh,
wrong.
with the listens? Yeah,
I-
we don't know if something's going on and it's just like one and dones, but we do appreciate the listens. And we're trying to give you guys content. We know it's not always easy, and sometimes we're kind of struggling, but we try.
yeah, we do.
And keep those reviews coming. I love reading them. They're great. They really do put a smile on my face, and I like to read them out to everybody.
One up the last guy because he came out with a great review. So-
Yeah, and I wanted to get to the point where I don't have time to read all of them. That's like the goal too. I want to read back to when we had so little reviews that I was able to read and spend time on each one. Like that would be like an ultimate like 5-year plan. Would be like that we have so many that we can't even fucking read them.
Yeah.
But whatever. Yeah. Thank everybody for listening. Look out for me on the whole live Facebook 10 p.m. on Friday. And let's see what else. We also have a special guest coming on Monday. So I guess next Tuesday, be on the lookout for our next episode. It's going to be a good one, hopefully. I can't see it not being a good one.
It's gonna be great.
But yeah, if you made it this far, everybody,
You made it this far.